In airline industry, we're joined now by Ian Steer, an aviation journalist. And Ian, I take it you're very concerned about where Robert Milton is right now.
Well, Robert Milton's between a rock and a hard place. He's just found out, and much more speedily than anybody would have predicted, that the U.S. government is going to bail out the U.S. industry to the tune of $24 billion. Now he's left with huge losses. You guys were mentioning earlier, 60 to 80 so far. If something doesn't come along by roughly tomorrow, it's going to get very hard for Air Canada to compete with the other airlines.
And why tomorrow?
Well, you have to remember, Air Canada and the airlines have been losing money for some time. I guess you were saying earlier about $276 million so far this year. It costs money to keep the airlines flying. Liquidity costs money. If the U.S. airlines are looking at a bailout and help and support, and Canadian airlines aren't, they're not going to be able to get money and keep on going as easily, as quickly.
David Collinette, the transport minister, said today that he thinks the airline industry might bounce right back. There is, of course, the doomsday scenario, which we've heard from a couple of fronts. Where do you sit in this spectrum?
Right in the middle, probably as reality will come. You know, Mr. Collinette makes a very good point, Dan, that the Canadian industry has only lost about 20% of its revenues, and the situation in America is much more stark, about 40 to 50% down in revenue. On the other hand, you know, you don't want Air Canada, which is in a teetery situation, to be left unsupported.
Now, Robert Milton said right here on this network today that he feels there'll be a lot of apprehension about flying by the public for a very long time. Do you agree with that?
I think there's a point to be made there, but you're in journalism. I would not underestimate the shortness of the attention span of people in North America.
One last quickie. Should the government take over security measures at all airports in this country?
Everybody's agreed with that for a long time. We've all gone through the gates, and it's just a disaster. You showed the report just yesterday, Dan, about 1 out of 5 guns, bombs, explosives, knives getting through. That's a dangerous situation for all of us.
Ian Steer, thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure, Dan. Thank you.